At this point in time, I guess I'll open it up to the audience to ask any questions if they have.
So, Dipankar, you talked about some successes that you had in product. Can you tell us, actually what goes between taking a product from an idea to the product? What, like some story of getting it out the door?
So the question is, what does it take to make a product go out as a success?
Yes. What kind of process do you follow internally?
So we are talking about technology products, the limited space that we are working in.
Correct.
So here, I like to believe that there are three basic processes which are going to be at work, and it could fit any one of these three. One is something that we follow and many other people follow. It's a known model. Get the customer. Get the customer, and therefore it validates that your product is a product. And of course you fine tune your idea based on that. The second would be in the category that you think about a product. And then you think about a product putting yourself in the shoes of the end user, and you believe in your guts that it should have an appeal. An example like Sony Walkman would be in that category. This melting machine that we are talking about is in that category. Nobody told us to make it to start with. There was an idea, we had it. And the third, which happens as a process of all of these, is serendipity, and something that comes up just like that. And then you have to deal with it. So the way I look at it is, if we have to really make it successful, you have to have some end user finally validating it. Now initially it could be that you do not even need real checks coming in, but you need people to validate it. So for us, it's very important to get people who understand the field and to get their acknowledgement that it's a valid solution. So anything that we do, first we try to get some of the top experts and internally validate our own selves. Hey, I may be thinking this, but I am not an expert. So let me get the expert's opinion. And more often than not, we find that they teach us more about what the application area could be, or some angle we have not even thought about. And the rest, it largely depends on how the individual team would like to take it forward. So some team may go for the model of, let's say, investments coming in early. Some people may want to nurture it to a stage where they can have better valuation. Those are the kind of models which I believe are relatively well known. Okay? So they're kind of, again, as part of an algorithm. You have experts, even in TiE, a lot of people will be there advising you on, you meaning the young entrepreneurs, on when to go out, in what way to make sure that it's a commercial success. Did I kind of answer your question?
Yeah, I think.
Yes, please.
Hello.
Why?
Yeah. Dipankar, this is Amrit, and thanks for the inspirational talk. This side.
Okay.
Yeah.
When you just, because I'm thinking that person is holding like this, I thought the mic was there.
We don't have that such kind of invention. I just want to understand what is the wattage of the melting machine and the arc weld.
You mean the actual power going in?
Power consumption. Yeah.
The melting machine we have made is melting about a kilogram of, let's say, potentially 500 grams to a kilogram of metal. The power input is about 1 kilowatt.
Okay.
But we are melting metals with something of in the range of 500 to 600 watts already. Okay, meaning.
Okay.
Now this is not, and I'm talking about copious amount of metal. Just to give you a sense, here are some. If I can find it quickly.
Bag is a Pandora box.
Something like that. See, this is a piece of aluminum. It's an aluminum Italy. Okay, you put it in a. So this is not a insubstantial quantity of metal to be melting on a little desktop unit that you can put it in a cast. You put it in whatever cast you want. Here we just put it in a saucer and become Italy. So that is, and for the welding machine, what you just saw was about a couple of 100 watts. Okay. In fact, at the level that it is doing right now, it is possible to power it off a UPS, computer UPS, or even a pedal power generator. So it's actually that less because you're just taking care of all the losses. But they are all scalable to what you want.
Whether you are supplying this to Indian market somewhere?
No. I just told you, we just started putting the first couple of products out, which was, one is the melting unit and another one we are working on is in the solar energy space. So, just what is the protocol? I mean, how people...
Let him take it. Yeah.
The one who has a mic asks the question.
Thanks for making that clear. Is it a conscious decision that you have kept TreeLabs away from services rather than concentrating, as you've been talking about technology and products? So is it a conscious decision to be away from services, from bringing bringing services to customers from an innovation standpoint?
Okay, if I have conveyed that, that's a erroneous conveying, and I apologize for that. No, we are not against any entrepreneurship. Okay. But given the big void which exists in things which are not related to tangible technology, therefore we felt that we need to make sure that this gets also its due focus. So, I mean, if I look at the number of people who are our students, let's say in IIT, who are starting new companies, even as we speak, most of them are in soft companies. Hardcore technologies don't seem to be coming out. And I think there's a reason for it. The reason, as I was alluding to earlier, is the lack of facilities. So in India, for example, there's a word jugaad we use, right? And we glorify, oh, books are written, no? We call it jugaad technology. And we have these grand stories in newspapers and magazines. Now I contend that people are doing jugaad because they don't have access to facilities. They would have done much better. They are talented people. They're doing that because the real facilities to allow their creative expressions do not take shape. And that, I think, is a big, big thing that we want to also focus on, but not necessarily saying that we don't want to touch services. In fact, one of the companies which have kind of, it's still in startup mode, but it's independent, okay? The group of 3 people who are running it and sold several products. That's actually in the services industry.
And just a short question. Are you targeting, from a product standpoint, are you targeting time to market as well in terms of conception, development, and bringing up to the market?
No, I mean, I wish I had the magic bullet to answer questions for each one of those different products and their scope and all that. I think it should be very case dependent, I mean, which product and what kind of strategies they follow. But the most important thing is that the exact time scale may not be the exact same die for each and every company, but the steps may be reasonably the same in terms of how you conceptualize, how you get the team to come and even vouch themselves to be part of a team. Startups have this big problem of teams falling apart because of silly reasons. So all kinds of things. Now, how do you account for them in setting a time scale? We had 2 companies that we had started, which went into suspended animation because one of the promoters in one of the company had to get a multinational company job because of family pressures. Another one happened because he's a businessman, but something else came up during the time they were doing in the industry that they already had, needed more attention, and kind of went in suspended animation. But the good thing in the TreeLabs model is that we do not have an idea just dying out. It just goes into, as I use the word, suspended animation. So somebody else can pick it up later. But the exact time scale, as you can see, can be.
Thank you.
The building expert. Sorry, the building expert was next.
Can I just add a few observations? So it's Dhananjay. It's a really mind-blowing talk. I mean, I really was blown away. I had no idea that you're doing some of the things that you're doing. Sometimes, anyway, so I just wanted to say one or two things. I had the good fortune of being in the same hostel as Dipankar. I'd like to say that you are certainly one of the most eccentric people then. I was a little terrified of him. So I'll just like to say, inventors, can they be invented? I'd say that I think inventors are born. If you look at the trajectory of his career, I think use the word Kira. There's always been some Kira deep inside him. So that's
back
one.
to the hostel language.
But definitely, I mean, of course, I'll visit the website. I have no idea what you're doing. But I feel that, are you doing anything related to biology? Because all the problems that are there, or any of the technology solutions, I think nature has already found a way. Whether it's generating energy, whether it's converting light into energy or into electricity. All these problems have been solved by nature, even related to environmental cleaning up, taking away heavy metals from So, is there any ideas, any plans regarding doing that in the future?
I was just mentioning one example already in the course of our talk, although I had no chance, possibility of going into detail. How do you grow food in an urban space? I'm just giving one example. How do you grow food in an urban space when you don't have land? Okay, so the point is, that's on one end of the spectrum. So, and let me just share, saying, in a personal journey, in the quest to even learn these things, I've been prodding around. So, for example, for the last 1 year, I learned a fair amount of how to handle bees, honeybees. I mean, you'll be amazed that nearly 70% of the stuff that comes on your plate, you should thank the honeybees.
Pollination.
That's right, 70%. And all of a sudden, at least in the West, United States and all, there was a big epidemic. Honeybees are disappearing. We are fortunate, but we don't know what is causing it. So,
is it because of cell phone?
Look, I'm not an expert, but to really comment one way or another, the stand I take is, if there is any indication of something at work, let's be cautious at least.
Yeah.
Let's try to see what is happening.
What we're talking, another incidence is brain tumors. The number of patients coming up because of probably is also due to cell.
See, it could be, but I'm saying I'm no expert to really comment one way or another, but I would exercise the path of caution. And as an explorer, try to find out, if there's a real truth to whatever the observation.